Hello! So today I am posting a new video in a very long time, and what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be sharing about my life in NTU during the COVID-19 times. 지금 제 영상을 보고 계신 한국 분들이 싱가포르로 유학 갈 때 NTU에서 공부하고 싶다면 여쭤볼 게 있으실 경우에 그냥 댓글에 달아주시면 제가 왜 그래? 제가 답변을 해보겠습니다. 네. 한국말을 이렇게 오랜만에 하니까 오랜만에 하기는 조금 지금 제가 1학년이지만 뵌 한국 사람들이 여러 명 있어가지고 한 학생회 같은 것도 있다고 들었어요. KSA라고 있는데 댓글에 뭐야 디스크립션에 한번 넣어볼게요. 링크를. 네, 그러면 시작해보도록 하겠습니다. Okay, so just a little bit about myself. My name is Christina. I'm studying linguistics and multilingual studies in NTU, in the School of Humanities, and I'm actually in my hall room right now. I'm in this hall. I'm in a single room. I used to stay in a double room with my best friend, but I decided that it was best for me to stay in a single room because I feel like I just match that life better, you know? It's decorated really nicely. Let me know if you guys want a room tour. But it's like, I feel like the best part of staying in a hall room is that I get to decorate the place as I want to, because I don't have like my own room at home. So anyways, because I live in the East, so living in a hall is the best way to get to school. If you want to know more about whether you should stay in hall and like what hall culture is like, stay tuned to the next part of the video later. I'm gonna be sharing about how life is in NTU during COVID-19. I had been doing a lot of research when I was not even in NTU, and I was like searching like how life is like, and apparently it's really happening. But things have changed now that COVID has started. Definitely changed a lot, I've heard. So I'm just going to share with you my real first-hand experience of how it has been. So first thing, mode of lessons. So when I first came in, apparently I heard from the seniors, I actually did like lots of research on Reddit. Reddit will save you, seriously. Just whenever you have any questions or any doubts, just go on to the NTU community page on Reddit, and some really nice people who are studying NTU will answer your questions. So I saw that actually when you're at NTU, during the time when I wasn't in it, like it was really bad because all the lessons were online, and I think it was during the time of the circuit breaker, also known as our lockdown. When I came in, it was a little bit better in terms of our lectures were all online though, like it was all online, but our tutorials were all physical. I think it really depends on which major you're from. Like for me, I'm from linguistics, so all our tutorials were offline. They were all held at the Hive. So here's a fun fact. If you are a humanities or social sciences student, your classes were definitely all, most of the time, be held at the Hive, which is this beehive-looking building. And it's right next to the School of Humanities and Social Sciences. So that's where your classes will be held. But I have heard of some people, I think, in the science school, I don't know which squadron is for fake news, but there were some people that I know that still had their tutorials online. So a lot of local people, like a lot of local students were like wondering, should I even be staying in hall? But at that point in time, you know, I just wanted to stay in my own place. I did not think twice. I just went straight ahead with living in hall. And of course, since my classes were physical, it really helped a lot with transportation. So this is something that you can expect. I don't know if the COVID-19 situation gets worse. Everything may go online, but I would definitely recommend you to stay in hall if you stay very, very far out in the east like me, because it takes 2 hours to come here. Even if there are like a few physical lessons, I would actually really recommend you to stay in hall, because that's where you actually get to really meet friends. You know, it's really hard, really hard to make friends in school, even during tutorials, even if it's physical, because the thing is, newsflash, this is not poly So I was a poly student, and in poly, we all had the same classes with the same people in our same class. Most of the time. I mean, if you have like electives, then it's a different crowd of people, but most of the time it's the same crowd of people. So you would definitely see the same set of people every time. So you will, in a way, be acquainted, make friends, and suddenly be the closest friends ever. But in uni, that is not how it works. So in uni, like, you have like different modules that you can take. As a year one, you definitely take core modules. So if you take these core modules, you definitely meet the same type of people again and again. But the classes would be different. So in each class, you meet different type of people, and it is very hard to maintain those bonds. In the first semester, I had friend A in class A, and then in class B, I met friend B, and then in class C, I met friend C. So the interaction with that friend is so minimal. Like in that 1 hour class that you have, you won't talk to that friend for an hour, right? You would probably like talk like 1 minute, and then you'd say bye. Yeah, so you have to look for other channels to make new friends, and that brings me to my third point. So if you can't make friends in class, and if you don't want to stay in hall, how else can you make friends, or how else can you have a fruitful uni life? I would say these two words that will definitely change your life forever and guarantee that you made the best decision in your life. So that is join CCA. That's 2 words. Join a CCA. Okay, and why I say this is, although CCAs are not compulsory in uni, it wasn't in poly as well, but it is the best way to socialize and get new friends and actually enjoy doing what you do. When I came to NTU, there were like so many interesting CCAs, and I just thought that, like, you know, I'd have to grab my opportunity to do things that I like, and I enjoyed radio, so I was like thinking of joining something similar, and NTU doesn't have a radio station, so I joined the closest thing to it, which was NTU MCs. Before COVID, it used to be happening, I heard, but yeah. Just join it, it's fun. And then my main CCA is actually called NTU SUSIC. So that's NTU Student Union, NTU Student Union Student Integration Committee. So that committee actually focuses a lot on the bonding, or the integration of the local student body in NTU and the students from overseas countries that have come to NTU to study. So I actually got the role of vice chairperson internal in this committee, and honestly I was so shocked because in poly you can't get like higher up positions when you're in your first year, but apparently it's possible. So I'm actually in charge of a lot of the events and initiatives that we do as a club to target to the student body. So that's the CCA that took up most of my time. Like, it was so stressful in the first year. But it was the CCA that helped me make so many friends. I forged so many bonds, even during these COVID times.
I swear.
I met so many great people, and I think this is like the best place for you to start if you'd like to forge bonds. And then I have my third CCA, which is the NTU Korean language program. So this program is under, it's a sub-wing under NTU Korean Cultural Society. So what Korean language program, or KLP, does is that it teaches students, anyone in NTU, Korean. What I do is I teach Korean over there. If you ever want to learn Korean, you should definitely join. And if you want to know more about the CCAs that NTU has to offer, I will put the link in the description below. So just refer to it. So you should definitely join CCAs because these are the best opportunities for you to make friends and also have the best time of your life. I like CCAs, really, I love it. Like, you should really join and do something that you like while struggling with your academics and NTU. Okay, now it brings me to my next point. NTU has a great number of halls on our campus. We also have like graduate halls, but I'm not going to cover that since we are covering undergraduate housing. There are 16 halls with the number, like each of the number in there. So like hall 1, hall 2, 3, 4, all the way to 16. And then we have the newer halls that look like condos. We have like Saraka Hall, Banyan Hall, Crescent Hall, Binjai Hall, Tanjong Hall, and Tamarin Hall. So there's a lot of choices for you to choose from here. Mainly there's single rooms and double rooms, and there's like single plus plus. I don't know what that is, but the special single plus 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 is all in the newer blocks. So I think there's one in Tamarind, yeah, but it's like super expensive. So there's single and double. I first came into NTU with my best friend in a double room, and we stayed in hall 8, so hall of residence 8, and it was about 300 plus to stay for each person, and it was an air-conditioned hall. So if you don't like air condition, you can choose certain halls. So like I know for hall 1 there isn't any air condition, so you can choose a single or a double room, and of course it's a little bit more cheaper than the normal halls. If you do want to share a room with your friend, you can definitely do so. So when you go and apply, you just put your friend's name together with yours, and then you will be joined together if there is vacancy for you guys. So if there is a double room, you will be allocated there. There is a chance that you will be separated. I have had friends that have been separated from their friends when they first applied in year 1. Yeah, but I wasn't, so there could be like a probability, but maybe not. So alright. Good news, hall stay is guaranteed for all year 1s and year 2s. So if you go in, you're guaranteed a hall stay. However, you are not guaranteed which hall you'd stay in. So you can't be like, oh, I want hall 3, I'm gonna get hall 3. No, it doesn't work that way. There is this thing called the rec list. So that's a recommendation list. So if you know somebody that can rec you into the hall that you want, then most probably you'll get into the hall. There are halls with like certain specialties. Like for example, the hall that I was in, hall 8, is very, very famous for their dance group called G, and they tend to take in a lot of dances. So I think you can definitely like approach someone and be like, I'm a good dancer, let me in, or something like that. I was randomized and I don't know, I'm not a good dancer. There's even a sports hall, and that is hall 1. So hall 1 is a sports hall, and you get to, if you're good in sports, you get to join and things like that. Yeah. Do not worry too much if you don't get the hall that you like, because you can always change your halls in the next year. If you are in CCAs, you get high campus live involvement points, you get high CCA points, which will aid you into getting the hall that you want. If the competition is between someone with 7 points and someone with no points, then the person with 7 points will get priority to go in. It's a computer ballot system. So if you'd like to see a tour of the facilities, you can drop a comment below and let me know if you'd like to see a whole tour. Now we're going on to modes of transportation and finding your way around NTU. So this is if you choose not to stay in a hall. Like me, I stay in the east. So when I first had to come here, it was like I think a week or 2 of not staying in hall. And there are 2 ways to get to the campus. So that is 1, taking public transport. So the nearest MRT to NTU is Pioneer MRT. It's situated on the Green Line, and once you're there, you can just go to exit A, I think, and take a 179 and head into school. There is also another option that you can take to get into the campus, which is our campus rider. So that is one of our shuttle buses in NTU. You can also take it at the Pioneer MRT, but it's on the other side. I think it's exit B. Basically, if you just take the campus rider, it will bring you into school for free. You don't have to prove that you were an NTU student, because I've done this before when I was not an NTU student. But the campus shuttle buses have a reputation of, there are not a lot of buses, so you always have to wait a long time for buses. So like in the bus app, if it says like 2 minutes, it is not 2 minutes, it is 10 minutes. Sometimes it takes longer. So it's been a while since I took the campus bus. I'll only take it if I'm not rushing to anywhere. So in the campus itself, there are 2 public transport buses that you can take, which is 179 that goes to Pioneer MRT, and it also goes to Bunlay MRT. And there's also another bus called 199, and it goes all the way to Bunlay. It does not go to Pioneer MRT. So you can choose these 2 buses to get into this city. People prefer 179 because it's faster, but I don't see the difference, honestly. And in campus, there's also two other types of buses that you can take, and that is the campus blue and the campus red. There are other types, but not very applicable to this. I have never taken the other types. It's like, I think, weekend riders. But there's campus blue and campus red, and these are just basically different routes that the bus takes. So you just have to do some research to find out how to go. Okay, and now I'd like to end this segment of life in NTU during COVID-19 with a disclaimer for my poly grads coming into NTU. Life is going to be very different. It's so different. I had such a culture shock because in poly everything was just like super free and like just like you know, like sometimes it's okay if you study last minute and stuff like that, but in NTU or even in university in general, you can't do that. You have to study that beforehand, and I've learned this lesson, tried studying beforehand, doesn't match my personality. So I am like barely grappling. So if you are in poly or have graduated poly and you're thinking of coming to uni, just know that you have to be prepared to study a lot and to get by without much help. Because if like in poly you had your friends to lean on to, you're super close with your lecturers and your tutors, but in NTU it's a little bit different. I don't know if it's because of COVID, but it's hard to get close to your teachers or your lecturers because your tutors are master students, so most of the times they'll be busy with other things. But I mean, if you want to, you can. Up to you. It's really hard to get close to them, at least during this COVID-19 situation, because for lectures sometimes you don't even see your teacher's face. Like I took this phonetics module, I've only ever heard the guy's voice. Sometimes I choose to sleep through it. Let's not talk about that. So you just have to be prepared for a lot of that. And one thing that I was super shocked by is that, you know, I didn't really think much about JC students being in uni and all that, but I don't know, maybe it's you, but to all the people that I've talked to before, we've all said that when you make friends with somebody, you can actually really tell whether they're from poly or they're from JC. It's just different vibes. Like the vibes are really different and you can really tell, but don't use this as like the border between you and that friend. So far, I've not been able to make a lot of JC friends or even friends. I'm just kidding. Nothing good, nothing bad. I'm just saying, you can just tell. Yeah, sometimes you can find yourself relating more and finding it better to bond with people from poly, especially if you're from the same poly. So yeah, just a heads up, don't get too shocked. If you want to find out anything about life in NTU, especially during this COVID-19 times, just drop a comment and I'll try my best to answer to it. Thank you for watching. See you guys on campus in a few months.